As a new trivia host, there's going to be a lot of things for you to deal with on that first night. Here's a couple tips that hopefully will help you smooth things out.
Get there early. If you got to be half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour early, do it. Get yourself time to get set up.
Have fun on the mic. Easier said than done if you're just getting started, but remember, if you're hiding behind the screen and everyone just sees you doing this, they're not going to be as enthused as if you get involved with them. Make eye contact.
Your trivia teams will love consistency. Trust me on that.
Get your sound check done, and then kind of walk around the restaurant, talk to people.
Number one, I recommend you making friends with all the wait staff and all the waitresses there. I find that they can really recruit new players to join in on your trivia game.
I could run an entire trivia show off my cell phone should my laptop fail. That includes music, that includes scorekeeping, and that includes the actual questions themselves. And the way I do this is I have Winamp on my phone. I have my music divided up so I have a completely clean set of music.
You have a personality, that's how you got the job, so use it. Don't be afraid to deviate from the script from time to time.
The PA system crashed and I had no PA system. So all you have to do is to figure out a way to get the show done and still have a good time. Teams are usually very forgiving, and if they know that you're doing the best that you can and you're having fun with it, they'll have fun with it too.
Remember, you work for thetriviafactory.com.
So if the PA system crashes, you may just have to stand out in the middle of the room and announce the question and then check with the teams and make sure that they understood the question correctly. I sometimes even make a joke about it. I'll take my microphone and unplug it and I'll carry that around. Everybody has a good laugh because they know the PA system isn't working.
Print out a hard copy of your questions and download your Spotify playlist to your laptop or your iPad, whatever you're using, but do not rely on the Wi-Fi at your venue. You never know what can happen. Accidents happen all the time, and you will need a backup plan. The show must go on.
I would recommend bringing two things. One is something soft like a towel or a cloth. For me, I use the neoprene sleeve for my laptop, and I use it as something to set my mixer and my mic on.
Is how do you keep score if you don't have a laptop? Well, you may have to resort to the old-fashioned way and use a pen and paper.
Make sure you talk with them, not at them. This is a live interactive show. It's not a movie.
Know that you're not going to make everyone happy at trivia, but definitely try. I mean, if people come up and complain about different discrepancies in their scores, try not to argue with them. You know, make sure everyone's happy when you leave.
Fake it till you make it. No one in the bar needs to know if this is your first, third, or seventh show. If you mess up, make fun of yourself, move on.
If you have a permanent spot, I recommend taking one day after you have everything hooked up the way you want, everything to the right levels, to take pictures. And this way, when you have someone sub for you, because you're probably going to ask for a day off, you can send that to them so they don't have trouble setting it up or figuring out what you were talking about.
And if you haven't figured out by now, the same plug that you use to plug into the headphone jack on your computer to play music will fit into your phone. The other thing
But I have my score sheets. I have my questions for the night. And I also have my music.
Get to know your teams on more of a personal level. Get to know their actual names, what information they are willing to give you, and ask what their opinions are on the music that you're playing.
Feel out your audience. Let them show you how fast they want the game to go. What kind of music and questions are they into? Do they hate beer questions? Don't ask those. Ask music or literature ones instead from the extra questions category. Do they hate rock and roll? Do they love rock and roll? I don't know, but you should.
Make sure that your files for music are downloaded on your computer. Don't rely on the internet of the venue. If that goes down and you have no music, say you're using a Spotify, now you're out.
And ask the managers if there's any events they have coming up that they'd like you to promote. You're on a microphone in front of their entire customer base. This really helps them out. It's a very small gesture that takes you very little time or effort, and it really keeps you in a good standing with the bar.
Make sure you read the rules, know the rules, and follow the rules. You're going to undoubtedly find teams that are regulars that you like. You're going to find some that you don't really care for. You can't show favoritism. You're going to have to keep yourself honest. That keeps them honest, keeps the game honest, keeps them coming back.
You don't want your trivia show to run any more than 2 hours. But you also want to make sure that your trivia show ends between 5 and 10 minutes prior to the closing of that venue, restaurant, bar, what have you.
Be prepared. Be original. For the most part, You're dealing with people who have been playing trivia a long time and who can go anywhere to play trivia. Why are they coming to you? What makes you special? What makes you different?
Get to know your crowd. Introduce all the teams in the room so everyone feels more connected and not so isolated within their own group.
Talk to the staff. Find out what kind of music they like. You don't know how many times I've played Gangnam Style just to watch the staff dance, or played Carl Douglas's Kung Fu Fighting just because I know the kitchen staff will serenade the entire restaurant.
Show up. That means it's easy for you to wear your day on your face and in your voice. But when you show up to trivia, it's a game, it's fun, it's in a bar or in a restaurant. You need to make sure that you are excited and you're letting them know that you're excited. That's going to keep them coming back, and it's going to add to you, which makes you different.
Get out there, go find another trivia company, go out there and find a night with the Trivia Factory and go play their trivia. Whether you've played 100 times, whether you've never played trivia in your life like I never played. Get out there, see how other hosts do it. This will give you a huge advantage to starting your show. You're going to see how other hosts interact with their players. You're going to see how they play their music, how they talk with their crowd, how they, engage the people that maybe disagree with an answer or tell them that, no, they're wrong. You're going to see all that, and you're going to know immediately, yeah, this is what I don't want to do to have a good trivia night.
But question 1, question 10, and question 20 are my longer songs. And the reason I make those about my 4-minute songs is because on question number 1, I have to put in team names. On 10 and 20, I have to reconcile scores before we move on for the half and before we move on to the bonus. In between that, 5 and 6 are my shortest songs, and 15 and 16 are also short songs because those are supposed to be your easier questions.
I recommend you make friends with all the players at trivia, because I found that they also like to go around and try to get people to play trivia because it's more competitive that way.
Get to know the staff that works your trivia night. Most bars will have the same people work every week, so get to know who they are and make sure that you're tipping them well because you're telling your teams to tip them well.
Just be nice. Be yourself. Hey, my name's John. I'm going to be the host. What's your name? My name is Ted. Okay, Ted, nice to meet you. Now every week you've got Ted in the audience. You see him. Hey, Ted, how you doing?
When you get started and get set up, you've got a toolbox. Inside that toolbox is a set of equipment that you must use. If you get practice with it before showing up at the venue, it gives you a much more professional product when you get started.
I'm Jim, and I'm a trivia guy.